The Dankwa Institute in Accra has been raided. The raid, which happened on Thursday, saw documents and desks in the office being scattered. Here's a news desk report.
Personnel believed to be from the Ghana Police Service and the Bureau of National Investigations on Thursday evening raided the offices of the Dankwa Institute in Accra, the New Patriotic Party has alleged. The security man and caretaker of the office told Joy News they were ordered to open the gates. After refusing to open the gate for the security operatives, the operatives scaled the wall and entered the premises.
I was sitting in the chair and I heard a knock on the door. So I come close to the door and I saw a Jaro park outside with some men.
Did you see the car number?
No, I didn't. So they said they are looking for one Ajia, and I said there's no Ajia here, and all of us, all the superiors have closed. Everybody is gone, so there's nobody here again. And they said yes, they want to enter. And I said no, we've closed. So I told them they should wait. So I called the caretaker for them. So I called the guy, maybe he may know them. So I called him and he came. And unfortunately, he doesn't also know them. So they were trying to jump the wall. And I told them, they know if they jump the wall, it's an offense. And they said, am I the one to show them the law? So one tried and entered. So he was trying to open the door, but I was struggling with him, and he was holding a handcuff. So he was trying to hook my hand. So I immediately moved my hand, and he opens the door for them. So they came in, and they tried opening this door, the one here, and the guy was inside locked. So
Is that the caretaker who was in that?
Yeah, that was the caretaker. So they told me, if they didn't see anybody, they would take me away. I said, fine, they can take me away because
I don't. They didn't tell you what they were looking for?
No, they didn't. Okay. I told them they can take me away because I don't know the offense I have committed, so they can take me away. So they tried opening the other side too, but unfortunately it was not locked, so they entered. And the policeman was standing outside with me, so they didn't allow me to go inside with them because they were 7. So some entered, but I don't know what goes on in there. When they finish.
How many minutes did they spend in there?
Well, let's say 10-15 minutes.
Okay. So when they entered, what did you do? You were waiting for them?
I was waiting.
For them?
I was waiting there.
Okay.
So later I asked the policeman, you said you beat me, what have I done? So he didn't say anything. And as we were talking with them here, 4 men went outside, and I heard them making a call saying when we came there was no one here. But they didn't allow me to go out. And what I heard was they drove their car away.
I was inside my room, so I heard a call from the security man, and I came out. When I came out and I went to the gate, there were about, for me, I saw around 5. Okay, so they were like, they have to enter, and I was like, who are you? They said, they are the police, and they have to enter. And I said, oh, if you are police, then you should show us warrants because we have closed from work and our superiors are out. So unless maybe you have a warrant before you allow you to enter. And they said, no, they have to enter. So they made one of them to jump the wall to come in. And as soon as I saw the man jumping the wall, I ran back into my room, which is the other part of the office, and locked myself up, including all the doors around that area. So then I left them, but they were trying to enter, and they were telling me that if I don't open the gates, what they would do to me when they enter, I will regret it. But they did their possible best. They weren't able to enter my part. But by the time I came out, when everything was, I realized they entered the other part and looted the place. So
Deputy Director of Communications for the NPP, Perry Okujeto, told Joy News that they included a police officer in uniform and 6 others in mufti. He said the security operatives also took to their heels when they heard that people were coming to the place. He said the party is taking stock of their documents and would make an official complaint to the police soon.
It's a very worrying scenario for fledgling democracy. I have an office here. So I think at about 6:30 thereabouts, I drove out to go into town and do some other things before heading home. A couple of, let's say about 40-45 minutes ago, I got a call from one of my colleagues saying that the caretaker had called and has been trying to reach me and had called that there were a group of policemen who had come to the gates asking the security man to open the gate for them to enter the premises. The security man inquired their mission and they would not listen to him, to the extent that the one in police uniform who carried a gun was the one who scaled the wall, entered the premises, and then opened the gate for his other colleagues to enter. More importantly, we cannot live in a democracy where the difference between us and the ruling party is a simple ideology as to how do we get Ghana to work. So the fact that there are differences in ideology does not mean that people should go out of their way to do things such as these.
Are you drawing conclusions already that this has been done?
Who else is doing this? Who else is doing this? Already people who have been brought in who are mere VIP protection experts have been arrested.
The BNI. So
the BNI is not above the law.
Exactly. So you are trying to link it with the NDC. That's the point I'm trying to make.
For now, as we speak, I don't see a difference between the BNI, the security agencies, and the NDC or President Mahama.
The BNI is a state institution.
Well, for now, as we speak, for what has been done to my office, I cannot differentiate between President Mahama, the BNI, or the NDC.
The curfew in Tafo, a suburb of Kumasi in the Ashanti region, has been reviewed from the current 8 to 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Regional Minister Alexander Akon tells Love News the Interior Ministry is expected to make an announcement on when it is to take effect. Easter celebrations at churches in Tafo have been affected by the curfew imposed on residents at Tafo. They are calling for the removal of the curfew. Love FM's Erastus Zaridonko joins us live on the phone lines with details. Erastus, tell us more about what the residents have been telling you.
Well, the residents have largely been complaining about the negative impact of the curfew, which has traveled for about a month now. And some of them are saying that, for example, all the public toilets are outside the houses. This is an old town, so they do not have toilet facilities within many of the residential facilities, and so they have to resort to the public toilets. But within this period, all of them are closed in the night, and so it has become a difficult situation for them within their various vicinities. The main market is also suffering because the food vendors who cook in the night have all stopped, and so they are not purchasing foodstuffs and other items from the market. And so that also has compounded the situation of business on the streets as well. The clergy is also complaining. I have spoken to reverend ministers who are saying that now they can no longer do their evening service, which travels to about 10 or 9 in the evening. And so they have to postpone so many of their church services, including even the Easter festivities and their conventions and all that. So that is what they've been saying.
Let's talk about today being Good Friday, and obviously a lot of Christians will be in church. If we say that this curfew has affected church today, how badly has it affected? Is it that churches have closed, or what exactly?
For example, the St. Anthony Roman Catholic Church at Old Tafo, for example, they were supposed to hold today's Easter service. Normally, they carry the cross around and all that. They start in the evening. But then, looking at it, the Reverend Minister was telling me that one Father Baden, he says that they have to push it to this morning because if they start in the evening, they will not finish, and they will enter into the curfew hours. And so they have to start this morning, reschedule it to this morning, where many of the members are not participating because this time many of them are in the market, some are trading in their shops and all that. So that is how bad it has affected the Easter festivities as well.
Thank you, Erastus. Love FM's Erastus Saridonko, giving us the latest on the curfew in Tafo, which has been reviewed. Now, as Christians mark the death of Christ, different churches undertake various activities to commemorate what they believe Jesus went through when he was crucified for believers. This Friday, Joy News' Jifa Kege joined one of such activities by the St. Paul's Catholic Church at Kwehe in Accra to experience the commemoration of the death of Christ in a procession known as the Stations of the Cross. And she'll be joining me in the studio shortly to have a brief chat on that. But for now, we'll be back shortly with more news. Stay with us. Yes, so here on News Today on Joy News on Multi TV. Let's return to our first story, our earlier story about the curfew that has been renewed in Tafo in Kumasi, a suburb of Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Erastus Saridonko has put together a report detailing how this is affecting the Easter festivities. We can now see that.
After about a month of curfew, the streets of Tafo are generally peaceful, but residents are fed up. They say the curfew is having a negative toll on business, church services, and even nature's call. We do our nature's business in polythene bags because of the curfew, this woman says. All public toilets are closed in the night. They should lift the curfew. All the evening food vendors have closed their businesses due to the curfew, this woman says. So nobody is buying our items at the market. The clergy is worried.
Well, it's very disturbing. We normally do most of our worship services in the evening. So per this curfew, we are not able to come to church in the evening to do all that we have to do.
It has reduced drastically the attendance of church services, and it's so pathetic.
Lawyer Dennis Ajay himself, a native of the town, says the curfew itself is illegal.
Regional security councils are set up, and they are supposed to advise the government. But the power to impose does not reside in the RESEC. Now, when you look at our Constitution, Article 31, the power to impose a state of emergency is a power that resides in the President of Ghana. It's an executive power function, in which under the Public Order Act it has been given to the in charge of Interior.
Regional Minister Alexander Akon, however, says the curfew has always come from the Interior Ministry, but says the situation demanded it.
RESEC hasn't imposed any curfew. It always comes from the Ministry of Interior. But I would wish that they should go beyond that and look at the situation who caused the death and caused mayhem, and look at the resolution where traditional values are involved, which you cannot totally get it into the legal domain.
He states that a review has been done to push it to 11 p.m. pending an announcement by the Interior Minister.
The chief was assaulted. He subsequently made a report traditionally to the Sanctimony Council. Now, when it comes to that level, there's a pacification level to be done. So there's a respect for the traditional authority. And that is the last bit we need to overcome, which we are working strongly on. And that is why we think that traditionally it will not show enough respect in getting the final resolution if you don't finish with that process. So we're also conscious of the fact that there's going to come, there's calm on the ground. So what we've done is that we have reviewed it, and I expect the report to come today in terms of announcement from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Saridonko.
Now, the Easter celebration is one that has drifted from the usual morning of the death of Christ on Friday to marking his resurrection with picnics. The occasion is now often associated with wild celebrations. Reports of a shortage in condoms as well as the excessive consumption of alcohol are but a few of how the day is celebrated now. Richard Opare, an internationally certified drug counselor with the Addictive Disease Unit at Kolebu, has been speaking about how to remedy the situation.
Look at the trend 5 years, 10 years back. You realize that the situation is getting, bad. People are getting into the use of alcohol and other drugs by the day. The sad part is that alcohol is now becoming or has become the gateway drugs to other substances, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and so on and so forth. So when you take people who are using these substances, you trace back and you realize that they began with alcohol. And that is why our campaign, especially for this particular Easter, minister is emphasized on alcohol, but of course we're talking about other substances too, as a way of people getting to understand the dangers involved in these substances and not start at all in the first place.
And what can be done to deal with this?
We started here. Education, advocacy, get the people informed. In fact, one of the reasons people will get into drugs has to do with ignorance. When people are ignorant about the dangers involved in the use of these substances, they are likely to jump into it.
But I think it's beyond education, because I've spoken to addicts as well who just can't stop, even though they know it's bad. So what can be done practically to help such people?
Yes, the education aspect has to do with prevention, so people don't start in the first place. But those who find themselves addicted to these substances would have to come to terms with themselves that they are sick. The addict is a sick person. That is why on the street you say, Charlie, I take you, I won't go cure. The word cure is a medical word that means that you have a condition that needs to be treated, right? So you have to come to terms with yourself that you have a problem, you are a sick person.
The state must question the activities of men of God who are exploiting Christians. That's the appeal from the coordinator, Department of Social Communications, Catholic Archdiocese Accra, Reverend Brother Stephen Domlevo. He bemoaned the fact that pastors have transformed God's church into a marketplace where anointing oil and all sorts of tokens and paraphernalia are being sold. According to him, pastors must not allow money to control them. Reverend Brother Domlevo is entreating Ghanaians to reflect on the death of Christ and desist from evil.
I will always be proud of the church. And when we talk about the church, in the Catholic sense, we are not talking about the structures and the buildings, but we are talking about the human beings.
Okay, we've seen a lot of men of God attacking each other lately. We've seen a lot of things happening in the media. People are being exploited. People are selling anointing oil, water. People are even selling porridge and all that. And people are asking, who brings the preacher to book in Ghana?
First of all that you are saying, it's a sign that God's house has become a marketplace. And you know, money is the source of all evil. And whether you're a man of God or you are a woman of God or you are just a Christian, many times the biggest temptation you can encounter is money. And therefore, as men of God or women of God, you must not allow money to control you. The moment money becomes your master, you will not follow the real master. Because Judas allowed himself for money to control him. And therefore, he thought that by selling Jesus, he is going to increase the money in their account. At the end, what happened? Judas regretted for doing that. So also, men of God are not there to fight themselves. For me, if you say you are a man of God and you are going to be fighting one another, then it means that you people, you need prayer and deliverance. I think that this type of men of God, we need to be praying for them, that they will go on the right track. And those who are selling oil and all this, which is going on, is money that they are looking for. The simple answer is that they are not seeking the face of God, they are not seeking God, they are not looking for God, they are not searching for God in Scripture, but they are searching for riches of this earth. Selling oil, selling cake, or selling what, in the name of the gospel or in the name of helping people. Please, that is, you are exploiting the people, but you are not giving them any spiritual gift.
Who regulates the church then?
That is it. It looks like there are some people, they are not under anybody, and they are the troublemakers.
So what
they are the people they should bring to book. They are the people, sometimes they need to really...
Who brings them to book?
The state has a law, and if you are exploiting the people, and then you are not doing the right thing, they must question the basis of what you are doing.
So you think government must come in?
Yes, if you, for example, if I as a man of God, I see that you say you are a man of God and you are molesting a woman just in the name of the Bible, I will challenge you.
Lebagan farming community in the Akachi South district of the Volta region has been provided a community-based health and planning services CHIPS compound. The CHIPS compound was constructed and furnished by CareNet Ghana, a health-focused non-governmental organization. The organization also presented 2 motorcycle ambulances to the district assembly to be allocated to CHIPS compounds. This is to help swiftly transport emergency cases to referral health facilities.
Previously, residents of Levega had to travel about 3 kilometers to the district capital, Akachi, to access health care, either with a motorbike or by foot. Due to this, some pregnant women refuse to access antenatal care. Their impoverished lifestyle is also a factor since they have to spend more to access health care. Bridget Zomelo is one of the few women who strive to access antenatal care and shares her ordeal with Joy News.
When I was pregnant, I always traveled on a motorbike to the hospital in Akachi. The journey most often leaves me with severe body pains due to the bad nature of our roads. The day I felt my baby was due, it was in the night and we had to travel on foot until we got a motorbike on the way, which took me to the hospital. When you are sick, you have to call for motorbike to help convey you to the hospital. However, due to the bad nature of our roads, the riders most at times feel reluctant in coming to pick us. During the rainy season, the situation becomes dire. We most at times don't get vehicles to transport our farm produce to the markets.
These dreadful days of traveling a long distance to access health care may just be over, following the construction of an €80,000 health facility consisting of a consulting room, records, laboratory, a store, a ward, and other facilities. Due to the water situation in the community, a mechanized borehole system has also been provided on the compound. The CHIPS compound is expected to serve over 3,000 residents from 18 other far-to-reach communities where people travel several kilometers on foot to access healthcare in Akachi. Bridget Zomelo is now happy and grateful to CareNet Ghana for providing the community health center.
I am happy we now have a health facility at Levega. We will no more travel on motorbikes to Akachi for health care. We will only take few steps and get to the health facility. I am really happy.
Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the executive director of CNG, Patrick Ahuma Okanse, explained that the initiative was to help reduce maternal mortality in Levega and its surrounding communities. He, however, warned the residents not to abuse the motorcycle ambulances, but use it for the intended purpose.
Permit me to say that the provision of this facility alone cannot improve the health of the people without having committed health workers and members of the beneficiary communities taking full responsibility of their own lives by adopting healthy lifestyles and reporting illnesses to the facility on time. It is indeed our hope that the provision of these facilities will ease the burden of pregnant women having to travel long distances to access maternal and reproductive health care.
The Volta Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Joseph Nwete, said the Akachi Triangle, consisting of Akachi South, Keta and Ketu South, recorded high figures of maternal deaths in 2014, but due to some interventions from partners, the figure reduced in 2015. He also stated that the number of midwives in the region has increased due to the introduction of some midwifery schools in the region and outlined some other measures being implemented by the Health Directorate towards reducing maternal mortality and improving healthcare delivery.
In fact, in 2013, we had 45 new midwives. In 2014, we had 62 new midwives. And in 2015, we had 130 new midwives, which means that the efforts we have put in place is yielding results. And I hope that this will be reflected in the number of women who died giving birth going down, as we started seeing from last year. Ladies and gentlemen, again, on our part as a health service directorate, we have said that we want to see clinical care and public health collaborate.
Akachi North District was also given 2 motorcycle ambulances. Fred Kwame Cyrus report for Joy News.
You're still here on News Today on Joy News on Multi TV with me, Beatrice Edu. We'll be back shortly with the latest in the world of business. Please stay with us.
And now time for some business. An international speaker and business mogul, Vusi Tembakwayo, has emphasized the need for investors in Africa and, for that matter, Ghana, to provide venture capital funding for local enterprises. This, according to him, is the only way local startups could expand beyond boundaries onto the international front. Mr. Vusi Tembakwayo spoke to Joy Business at the first edition of the Inspire Ghana series by Stanbic Bank in collaboration with Joy FM.
But what's missing is a strong community of venture capitalists. The reason for that is because when many Africans make money, the first place they spend it is everywhere but Africa. Right? So think about it. Many Africans own homes in fancy parts of the world. They all drive fancy European cars, which means we're exporting our capital rather than reinvesting it here. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to change our thinking. So our thinking is wrong. In the main, we think about ourselves in small territorial boundaries. If I create a business here, I'm thinking about the consumer right outside the doors. If I create a business in Tamale, I think about the consumer in Tamale. Rather than going, how do I create something here that can reach any corner of the continent, that has universal appeal, and that can help people's lives materially improve? So I think entrepreneurs have to change their thinking. There's one part of the solution. Second part of the solution is you need people who have capital to start reinvesting it back in the productive capacity of the continent, make it available to entrepreneurs, and the two shall meet, and you'll then create a strong ecosystem that will build the continent.
And government will from April roll out a comprehensive program to replace all fluorescent bulbs with LED ones. This is part of initiative towards energy conservation to ease pressure on power production in the country. Deputy Minister for Power John Jinapor revealed this at a program to launch Philips energy-efficient LED bulbs.
As part of moves to reduce energy consumption in the country, global leader in lighting innovations Philips has launched an energy-efficient LED bulbs. The bulb reduces energy consumption by up to 85%. General Manager of Philips, Felix Darko, believes switching to LED bulbs will therefore reduce costs for consumers.
You replace these bulbs with the small boy danger, you'll be saving not less than 75% of your energy usage. And what that saving translates into cash is, assuming that you pay 200 Ghana cedis every month, between 40 to 60 Ghana cedis is a saving that you'll be making every month if you switch. And if you add it, call it by 12, you can understand the max, the total saving that you'll be making as a consumer. So we'd encourage all consumers that this is a great opportunity. Go out there, pick Philips Eco Bright or Philips Small Boy Danger, and it will bring a lot of relief to you.
Deputy Minister for Power John Jinapor, meanwhile, says government is advancing moves to reduce the demand for power across the country.
Looking at the month of April, in the month of April we intend commencing the program. We are going through the preparatory stages to ensure that we roll out a comprehensive program, and so that is what we are doing. We're going to deal with numerous companies. We want the best product at a cost reflective or cost efficient rates. And so one is about quality, two is about cost, because we don't want to pass too much cost. And bear in mind, as I indicated, we intend subsidizing the price of the bulbs to the barest minimum.
So that will be it for business. But for more on what's happening at Kwewo, especially the business side of it, join me exactly 1 o'clock on the marketplace for more. My name is John Kojo Amwako.
And that's it for news today on Joy News on Multi TV. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Beatrice. Thank you so much for joining us and happy holidays. Good afternoon.